Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. I've never seen a company that decreases wages outright. Cutting hours, messing with bonus, promising pay raises, and not following through, yes. But outright decreasing a wage, that's awful. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Knock money off my paycheck for grammar mistakes? Let me point out all the mistakes on my boss's work. Years ago, I took a job in another country for a very small company that taught English. My responsibilities included reviewing and editing lesson plans created by non-native English speakers. Many of the lessons taught EU English while I'm accustomed to US English. My boss and the only other native English speaker was from the UK. Therefore, there were certain nuances that I was unfamiliar with. That being said, I was one of the better people on the team QAing, but I wasn't perfect by any means. There were often glaring mistakes I saw slip through on lessons not assigned to me to review, but I never purposely called people out for them. It was kind of a crappy company and bad lessons to begin with, but if there were glaring mistakes, I would quietly fix them. One pay period, months after I'd been working there, I received a decrease in my pay, along with a note explaining that the reasoning was because of X and X mistakes that had slipped through on my work. I was pissed, as this was not a part of my contract, but I couldn't really contest it in this foreign country. The note did, however, note that this decrease in pay for mistakes made on job duties was for all employees in my department. I knew that there were tons of mistakes on other lesson plans that weren't mine, so I pulled up the first one and began sending messages in the group chat of every mistake I could find. And there were a lot. I did this rapid fire until my boss, who was sitting across from me, sent me a message that essentially said, "Don't worry, I can assure you I'm being held to the same standards and expectations," before he got up and walked away in a huff. After he walked out of earshot, my other coworker laughed and said he had messaged her and asked how I knew that particular lesson was one he had QA'd. I told her I didn't know, I just pulled up the first one I knew there were mistakes on. I didn't get any money taken out of my paychecks after that, but I left the company shortly after. And our second story. Girl doesn't like her home-cooked meal, so she orders takeout on my dime. So this story requires a quick backstory. I work in security, and back in December, I was removed from my post after one of the guards stole a laptop. Since then, I've been working part-time at an auto port, and as a result, my pay has taken a big cut. Along with this, whenever I go out on a date with my boyfriend, he's been the one to pay since my money disappears into the void called bills. Around Valentine's Day, I decided I was going to treat him to one of my favorite home-cooked meals, Japanese curry and rice pudding. Well, my best buds found out about my plans, and since I'm the only one of my friend group who can cook, they invited themselves. I'm not really annoyed by this since the recipe I have makes a lot of food. Fast forward to today, and I'm almost done making dinner when one of my buds comes in with the girl he's dating. I've met her once before, and I sure as hell wasn't impressed by her attitude. Here's the story. Me equals me, boyfriend equals BF, Bud 1 equals B1, Bud 2 equals B2, B word will stay as B word because F her. So I'm cooking dinner when Bud 1 and B word walk in. B word has already started complaining. I guess she wasn't thrilled with coming over here. Bud 1 and my boyfriend are playing Mario Party and drinking the beer Bud 1 brought over. Meanwhile, B word comes into the kitchen, looks into the pot, and sneers. B word, so what's this? Me. The big pot is Japanese curry, the little pot is rice, and there's rice pudding in the fridge. You want a taste? I pull out a soup spoon and give her a quick taste. B-word isn't pleased. B-word, what the F? This is really hot. Me, that's because there's cayenne pepper in there. B-word sticks her head under the faucet and chugs some water while I'm chuckling and finishing the food. B-word then decided she was going to order her own food while go back to finishing dinner. A little while later, my phone goes off. Since it wasn't a number I recognized and I'm screening calls, I waited for it to go to voicemail, and that's when I noticed Grubhub was open. B had ordered a barbecue sandwich from a popular barbecue place in my neighborhood. Me. Dude, who the F ordered food from my phone? B word. Oh, that's my order. B1. Dude, what the F? BF. Why are you ordering food off his phone? B word. Well, I can't eat the food he made. It's too spicy, so I ordered some food. B2. B word. Why are you ordering food from his phone? B word. Because it's only fair he pays since his food is trash. Me. Dude, I don't have any money in my account. B word. And how's that my problem? At this point, I opened up my bank account to check my balance. Yep, she ordered $47 in food, just enough to throw my account in the negative. I'm effing pissed at this point. Me. You've overdrawn my bank account, you a-hole. B1. What the hell is your problem? You don't just take someone's phone and order crap off it. B word. Well, maybe he should be cooking some American food instead of foreign trash. BF. You weren't even invited here. Me. I want you to get the F out of my apartment now, or I'm going to throw your butt through the window. B word. Don't you effing touch me, or I'll have you arrested. Bro 2 grabbed his stuff and followed soon after. A couple minutes later, her food showed up. It's now sitting in my fridge. We were all planning on hanging out till late tonight, but my fiery temper and Bro 2 taking off pretty much ended the night early. While I was typing this out, Bro 2 did text me apologizing for everything that happened. I'm still mad at him, but I'll eventually cool off. However, I made it clear I never want to see that B word again. Edit. For people who are wondering how she got on my phone, the phone's set to stay on unless I manually shut it off. As for why it was on, I had one of the recipes I used stored in my phone's gallery and was playing music on it at the time. An apology doesn't cover the negative bank and the fees you're gonna get. And our next story. Sorry, the computer says you're wrong. Welcome behind the counter at the gas station. I've only been here a few months now since I left my job at retail chain and have already run into a few characters. This particular story happened last week during a lull in customers, but it really sped my day up. I was standing behind the register monitoring the pumps when I see a middle-aged woman pull up in an SUV. She gets out of the car, kind of fumbles around with her keys, and wanders the lot. Pretty peculiar, but I'm not worried about it because we're slow. I see her make her way back up to the pump, and she proceeds to pick up the nozzle and put it in her vehicle without putting in a credit or debit card. Very important. Of course, the alarm on my computer goes off, and I activate the pump to tell her over the PA to come inside and pay when she's finished fueling. This is where it goes downhill. The woman starts to look around, very confused. She wanders the lot again, no fuel's being pumped at this point, and plays with her keys, locking and unlocking her car a few times, then heads inside. We'll call this lady the Army Woman, or AW for short. AW, do you have any flex fuel? Me. No, unfortunately we do not. AW giving me a really PO'd look. Well, fine then. And that was the end of the conversation. She heads back outside and wanders the lot again and makes her way back to the pump and finally begins fueling. She racks up a nice $40-something gas purchase and comes back inside, but only after wasting another 3 minutes locking and unlocking her car. She decides that she wants to buy a drink and some candy, and I ring it all up along with the gas. Me. All right, that brings your total to $45 and X number of cents. AW. I'm sorry, did you ring up my gas with this? Me. Yes, I did. It was 40. She interrupted me by waving her hand in my face. AW. No. I already paid for my gas outside. Me. No, I had to activate the pump from inside. Once I activate the pump, you cannot slide your card to pay. You have to come inside. AW. No, I paid for my effing gas outside. I slid this card, shoves our rewards card in my face, and then this card shoves her U.S. Air Force card in my face. Me. Well, miss, if you put the card in after you pick up the nozzle and select a fuel type, the pump will not read your card. AW, I slid this card, dramatically slams the rewards card down and points at it, and then I slid this one. Does the same with her USAF card. At this point, I can still see there's no talking sense into this woman. My shift lead, hearing the commotion, comes to try and save the day. Basically, the same conversation happens between my shift leader, SL, and the AW that I was having with AW, so I will omit it here. The argument escalates at this point. AW. You know what? F this place. I don't give a crap what your computer says. This card is from a effing Federal Reserve Bank. I'm just going to tell all of my active duty friends to never, I repeat, never come here. And you better watch your effing back. Absolutely fed up with this B word, me and my SL look at her and calmly say, okay, have a nice day, to which she promptly told us to F off. Edit. Yes, she paid for her gas, she just wasn't very happy about it. And our last story. Neighbor building huge garage too close to property line. So recently, my neighbor has decided to build a garage in his backyard. I didn't have an issue with it until he decided to make it a huge 2-story garage. It now blocks a huge amount of sunlight from our backyard and in general is a huge eyesore. After doing some research, our county requires a 7-foot setback from the side and rear of the property lines. My neighbor's definitely maybe 2 feet from our property line, and I'm about 4 feet from the adjacent neighbor, corner lot property line. I also looked online for a permit for his garage based on the address, and the garage definitely does not have a permit. I plan on contacting our local zoning planning department and filing an anonymous complaint. I'm mostly concerned about our resale. It's a massive eyesore. I'm curious on whether they'll be slapped with a fine for building without a permit, or will have the ability to request them to either move the garage, very unlikely, or demolish it. I'm pretty upset they couldn't have just left it as 1 story. I wouldn't have cared at all. Update. My complaint was reviewed and the garbage is gone. Thanks for reading. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.